Standing in front of the gate, Milo contemplates if it is the right decision to leave the known area behind and move on. You have a feeling that progressing through these gates has some significance and might help you find your way back to your family. So you brace yourself and exit on the other side. Going outside, the first thing you notice is food. A popcorn plant is what your family named them, and you quickly see why. With a little stone, there is not enough force to open them, but with a well-thrown spear, it opens up and pops its seeds. It is delicious and fills your belly. After grabbing your spear, you need to climb up higher to find your way to continue. Although you see the shelter down there, coming right out of the gate you think you may manage to find another shelter in time. So this time, you test your luck. Suddenly, a blue lizard drops from above. It startles you, but you remain focused on climbing nonetheless. You hurry up, so the lizard doesn't have a chance to catch up to you. You could have escaped inside a tunnel, but you think it's better to continue climbing outside, so you have a visual on the lizard, if it would choose to chase you. You are quick to climb and leave the lizard far behind you. But then you notice another danger approaching. A magenta lizard comes carefully climbing down from above. It has noticed you and tries to make its way towards you. You find a way around it and the lizard drops down in disappointment. But you notice the blue lizard caught up as well. Better to move on fast. You see the way you choose was the correct choice, as there would have been the possibility that a magenta lizard would have grabbed you coming out of its lair. Would you have climbed inside a tiny room for safety, but having the means to escape at a moment's notice is safer here. Going into the tunnel above, you arrive at the rooftop of this building. It is magnificent to see so many badflies around. If you wouldn't have had popcorn plant earlier, you could have eaten like a big slugcat here. But wait, you notice something up above, and with this, you witness another vision, where a magenta lizard caught another slugcat and dragged it off downwards. Hesitant, you climb up anyway and get a little treat. Karma flower. They are not only tasty, but also give a feeling of warmth and security. You feel more confident to continue. Climbing another tunnel down, you find the way splits here, and first you go right to explore, but with your luck you find another shelter to rest and another karma flower growing in front of the entrance. You are not a greedy slugcat, therefore you leave the karma flower be and climb into the shelter. Time to hibernate again. The shutters open, but you still wait and lay around for a few seconds more. Now that you are well rested, it is time to explore more of this, as it seems, industrial complex. Spear in hand, you climb out and notice the still wet areas dripping from the rain that has passed. Crawling down out of the tunnel, another vision opens up. A slugcat misjudged a jump and fell right into a dormant blue lizard that bit it out of reflex. You don't hold yourself off and move on. You notice some badflies above you and try to throw a stone at them, but you miss and they fly through a tunnel away. Of course you follow, since you are still hungry after hibernating. In between a big pipe and some wall, you catch them and eat quickly but silently, since there is a bright blue lizard nearby. You wait for it to move past and then you climb up higher. Way up top, you notice a magenta lizard waiting. Seeing it startles you, and you loosen your grip and slip a bit. You catch yourself and climb up again. Looking at it, for a brief moment you think it might be wiser to choose another way, instead of climbing this trial. So you drop again, and go for another path. You find a curious looking blue pearl, and decide to take it with you. Comparing the blue pearl to the silver pearl, you think the blue one is better, so you leave the silver one be. Coming out of the tunnel, you notice a blue lizard underneath of you, roaming around. You halt for a moment and stalk it. Slowly, you make your way up. And leap over the hole, but on the other side you are too skittish, and the blue lizard notices your presence. So instead of going up, you decide to go right into the tunnel. A green lizard is waiting further down on the other side, but it still is far away. You think about if you could jump over it with the help of those poles, so you wait for a moment and look if those poles are not traps as well. It seems safe, therefore you jump over, holding on these poles, since indeed your life depends on it. The drooling lizard stays down. In curiosity you look back and see the angry lizard, but it is not your concern anymore, so you move on. The next room holds some ripe blue fruits. Putting down your pearl, you now have a hand free to grab hold on some of the fruit to eat. But not letting the spear go, you never know when you might need it. With a full belly, you take your pearl again and continue. Now here, Milo could jump over, or Milo thinks why not explore a bit down first. Holding onto the edge, you let yourself fall in a controlled manner and climb down carefully. It is very quiet for such an open area, and something tells you you should remain vigilant. When out of nowhere, a white lizard shows its true color and tries to throw its tongue at you, but you dodged it and climb into a little narrow pathway. Quickly, you fool this lizard into following you, but you already have an escape plan into the next tunnel. There, you wait for a moment, but the lizard seems to not follow you. You think it is better to continue here instead of going back, facing that lizard. A lot of bigger and smaller pipes create a way that you take, trying your best not to fall into some traps. Sometimes it is not easy to move between the pipes. But in the end, you find your way out. Another green lizard. But you don't need to care and continue past it. Now that you have found yourself here with some clean water, you decide to take a dip and climb out of the other side. A clean little Milo jumps from wall to wall to reach another tunnel, but since you're still a bit wet, you slip and need to jump up again. It was worth it, and you earn yourself another break, as you have found another shelter. Time to hibernate. In your sleep, you dream of cuddling with your family. You miss them very much. So you give yourself a moment to enjoy the stream. You wake up, you take your spear and you take your pearl and head out. You consider nibbling the karma flower, but not doing so, you continue. Again, a little bath and swim past some clicking snails, back the way you hailed from before. In the next room, some blue fruits are waiting to be eaten. So you lay down your pearl and enjoy the food that is reachable. You follow your way back further into the room with the green lizard. You watch its movement carefully, since you have decided to follow that direction as well. Going through the tunnel, you creep a bit back so it does not notice you, but then you continue following it. Luckily, it does not go the direction you set yourself to, so you use this chance and hurry down the narrow pathway when it suddenly returns. You stand still and hold your breath for it to not notice you. It goes its way, and you also move fast upwards. Outside, another green lizard stumbles their way towards you. Climbing a pole, you hold on it, hoping it has not a great appetite towards you. Holding still, you let it pass beneath you. A chance opens, and you use it immediately, jumping up and into the next tunnel. There, you continue through an open field, and behind you, you notice the green lizard tracing you. But you are swift on your way. Even the magenta lizard in front of you poses no threat with your speed. But there are even more lizards roaming. You keep your pace up, and right when you enter the tunnel, you saw a vulture drop down. But you are safe for now. Exiting the tunnel, you immediately see another vision. A Slugcat was not prepared and cornered itself, while a green lizard had its sights set on it. For now, there is no green lizard around, and after that vision, you want to calm your nerves, so you grab the little karma flower and snack on it. Looking at the wall, where the other Slugcat struggled, you have a grand solution. You jump and ram your spear into the wall to create a higher point to hold on to. With this, you are in reach of the upper structure, so you climb up. And since you are not in a dangerous situation and still got plenty of time, you use this chance to feast on all those badflies swarming around this area. With a full belly, you are prepared to continue. You find a shelter and check if it is in good condition, but decide to look what is in the other direction. Out of the tunnel, you see the beginning of a different environment. You think, maybe it is better to hibernate first, before you tackle new challenges in a new environment. So you turn around and head inside the shelter you found. The shelter is a bit overgrown, but that makes it oddly comfortable, and it still functions properly, so you have no problems falling asleep. You wake up, grab your little friend the blue pearl, and head out. Outside you see two curious long creatures looking at you from out of the water. You have noticed them last time already, but this time you have to go past them. Are they dangerous? You take a bubble fruit and throw it into the water. But you throw too hard, so you hit one of those worm-like creatures. After which it dove down, but quickly came back. You carefully go past it and take the popped bubble fruit and eat, since it does not seem as if the worms mean you any harm. After eating your fill of bubble fruit, you continue. You reach the next gate, and you are prepared to enter. With this, our second episode ends, leaving this industrial complex behind and into the next environment. If you like the journey of Milo, consider leaving a comment or a like. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you are curious as to how the journey will continue, consider subscribing to not miss out on the next episode. Until then, we bid you farewell.